Go ahead and move on down the line here. So section 2 will be approval of the agenda. 2.1 changes to agenda and approval of agenda. And then we'll move down to section 3, which we have a lot of recognitions. So it's going to be another exciting night of recognitions and appointments here. So recognitions, 3.1, recognition of Meigs Middle School Archery Team as the 2021 state champions in the National Archery State Program Middle School Division. Section 3.2, recognition of Shalimar Elementary School Archery Team as the 2021 state champions in the National Archery State Program Elementary School Division. And section 3.3, recognition of the Niceville High School individual state champions of 2021 FHSAA track and field class 4 champions. 3.4, recognition of Niceville High School boys track and field team 2021 FHSAA class 4A boys track and field state champions. 3.5, recognition of Niceville High School varsity cheerleaders 2021 UCA National High School cheerleading champions in Division I medium varsity game day. 3.6, recognition of Niceville High School junior varsity cheerleaders 2021 UCA National High School cheerleading dual champions in the small junior varsity game day and small junior varsity traditional divisions. And then 3.7, recognition of Destin Middle School Dazzlers Dance Team 2021 NDA National Champions Middle School Jazz Division. And then we'll move to section 4. We do have a visitor, 4.1, Mark S. Levine. And then section 5, administrative personnel appointments, 5.1, appointment of assistant principal 1, 12-month to Laurel Hill School. 5.2, appointment of assistant principal 2, Pryor Middle School. 5.3, appointment of principal Meigs Middle School. And 5.4, appointment of principal Elliott Point Elementary School. And then section 6 will be public comment. 6.1, members of the public desiring to address the school board, Form MIS 5241, public input and/or discussion of agenda items. Section 7, committee and staff reports. 7.1 will be in-county travel paid for the period of April 22nd through May 5th, 2021. And 7.2 will be out-of-county travel paid for the period of April 22nd through May 5th, 2021. And then we'll move down to the consent agenda. And again, school board members, at any time, if you have an item that you'd like to talk about, just please let me know. And we do have staff here to help answer those questions, so at the approval of the superintendent. 8.1, approval of the consent agenda. 8.2, approval of the minutes of the student disciplinary hearing of May 6, 2021. Minutes of the workshop meeting of May 6, 2021. Minutes of regular meeting of May 10th, 2021. 8.3, appropriation of District 2 School Board member capital outlay funds to Mary Esther Elementary School for office flooring in the amount of $8,447.04, presented by Ms. Marty Gardner. 8.4, appropriation of District 4 School Board member capital outlay funds to Pryor Middle School for classroom chairs in the amount of $5,000, presented by myself. And 8.5, request to advertise a public hearing for adoption of the 2021 through 2022 Code of Student Conduct, elementary and secondary. 8.6, request to advertise a public hearing for adoption of a revised job description for quality control manager, food service, school food service. 8.7, invoices to be approved for payment. 8.8, school donations. 8.9, payroll warrant register and accounts payable warrant register for April 2021, totaling $27,322,434.53. And bank transfers for April 2021 totaling $55,000. And 8.10, revised fiscal year 2021 through 2022 child care fees. 8.11, renewal of check recovery agreement between the School Board of Okaloosa County and Safe Check Incorporated for non-sufficient fund check recovery services. 8.12, Cox Business Commercial Services Agreement for ITB 21-05 telecommunication services for wide area network. 8.13, Cox Business Commercial Services Agreement for ITB 21-06 Internet Services. 8.14, request price increase for ITB 18-07 Custodial Equipment and Repair Services, district-wide. 8.15, sole source purchase over $25,000, Mericraft. 8.16, ITB 21-11, installation of new sewer and drain lines at Choctawhatchee High School. 8.17, tag-on bid purchase over $25,000, International Restaurant Distributors, Incorporated. 8.18, tag-on bid purchase over $25,000, Howard Technology Solutions. 8.19, tag-on bid purchase over $25,000, Hampton Engineering Corporation. 8.20, tag-on bid purchase over $25,000, G&A Manufacturing Incorporated. 8.21, tag-on bid ITQ 2742-MST-BJH Locker Purchase and Related Services. 8.22, amendment to service agreement number 21-64 Connect ASL Incorporated. 8.23, revised elementary retention criteria in response to COVID for the 2020 through 2021 school year. 8.24, healthcare service agreement between Marvax LLC, doing business as Health Hero Florida, and the School Board of Okaloosa County. 8.25, Florida Department of Education data sharing security agreement. 8.26, educational services agreement between the School Board of Okaloosa County and the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice to provide educational services to students placed within the Department of Juvenile Justice in Okaloosa County. 8.27, memorandum of understanding between the Northwest Florida Health Network and the School Board of Okaloosa County. And then 8.28, Title IX, Part A, Education for Homeless Children and Youth Project application for 2021 through 2022.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I go back to another, an item, please?
Yes, ma'am. Which item?
8.16. I just have a question. This is installation of new sewer and drain lines at Choctaw. My question is, now that we have the sales tax money, and I think I brought this up before, is there a way is this just regular capital improvements that we would have, or is this part? I just would like to know if we could see the difference when we get items, because that's obviously a biggie.
Yes, ma'am. I think it would say in the agenda item if it were funded through sales tax proceeds.
Okay.
So this is capital budget.
Okay.
And it is a portion of sewage line there that we've been working with at Choctaw. We had a meeting this week, and it's scheduled to occur, and so it should solve a long problem at the school there.
All right, so in the future on the agenda, it's going to mention if it's through the sales tax.
I think it'll say if it's through the capital budget there.
Okay,
but we'll
okay,
make sure.
gotcha.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
So
thank
it'll
you.
show the source
May I
of funds
follow up?
each time.
Just Mr. Horton, so if the agenda item, like in this case, says capital funds, then in the future, we'll know that that's not sales tax
Correct.
revenue?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, any other questions regarding any other agenda items? Okay, so we'll move down to Section 9, Superintendent's Human Resources Recommendation. 9.1, employees on administrative leave. 9.2, Deferred Retirement Option Program. 9.3, Employment Separations. 9.4, Personnel Recommendations. 9.5, Employee Transfers. 9.6, Employee Suspension. 9.7, Employee Termination. 9.8, Employee Termination. 9.9, Employee Termination. 9.10, Employee Termination. 9.11, Reinstatement Reimbursement of sick leave due to line of duty illness, injury, medical examination. Then 9.12, Leave without pay. Section 10 is discussion agenda. As of right now, there's been no items moved. So Section 11, we'll move over to Dr. Kelly.
And we've already had our monthly report from that committee, so we will not have another one until the first part of June. Then we'll have ours.
All right, thank you, ma'am. And we have nothing for Section 12, Information Technology Seat Management Contract, and Section 13, Mr. McInnes, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
No reports this morning.
Okay, thank you. And Section 14, Mr. Chambers, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant, School Board. So the last week, I do want to report on, we had a couple of really exciting events that took place. This past Saturday, we had a college and career fair, and it was very well attended. We had approximately 140 students there. The Okaloosa Public Schools Foundation was a big piece of making this happen. So I do want to thank Ms. Gates and her team. Great turnout from the business leaders as well. So we had businesses, we had the military, colleges were there. Ms. Ivanchek and her group also helped make sure that this really ran well. So I very much appreciate that.
That's great.
But we had College Board there, and the students, it was great to see them up at 8 o'clock in the morning. They stayed the entire time. I'm not sure if the t-shirt had anything to do with it, but they stayed the entire time, got some great information. Some kids ended up going away with a job for the summer, or even a job potentially after graduation. So I was just very proud to see so many students there, our schools getting the students there, and again, just another great relationship with the community. So that was a great event, and very much appreciate that support. Also, yesterday was a very exciting day. We had a Cte Signing Day, and I again appreciate all of your support on that. And we've talked about our athletes. You know, we have great athletes in Okaloosa County, and they have college signing days where they go play sports at certain places. And 2 years ago, we said that we want to have Cte Signing Day and highlight kids who have taken part in whether it's welding, engineering, cybersecurity, carpentry, whatever the program is, and students who are now going to graduate from high school and go to work here locally after high school in that field, let's celebrate it. Or if they're going to college in that area, let's celebrate it. Or even the student who is going to the Navy in nuclear engineering. So that was pretty impressive.
That's amazing.
So just thank you all for your support. We also had Channel 3 was there, the Daily News was there. We had some other media outlets such as Get the Coast was there. So it was a great event for our students and a great event for our school district, showing how we are providing opportunities for our students. So very thankful. The last thing I don't want to forget is the teachers who work in those programs, as you know, highly technical information to be able to get those students to pass industry certs, but just doing a great job. So very thankful there. Do want to give just a little bit of a COVID update, but more towards the vaccinations. Ms. Schroeder and Mr. Horton have been working with our local health department, but also specifically with Health Hero Florida. As you know, vaccinations are now starting to go towards families who want it for those 12 years and older. So Mr. Horton, Ms. Schroeder have been working. So we have multiple schools that are going to be sites. That information will be on our website. We'll be also getting information out to families in different methods. But we are trying to make our schools accessible for our employees, for our students, for the community, and be a part of this process for those who choose to get vaccination. So I'm very appreciative of the work of our team who's doing that. We're about 2 weeks from graduation, so I know we'll be seeing all of you at different graduations. Silver Sands actually kicks off the first one on June 2nd, but then on the 3rd and the 4th, that Thursday and Friday, all of us will be celebrating our seniors. And again, this year's seniors is another resilient group where this senior year might be a little bit different than it was in previous years. But again, just very proud of our seniors. Just for the board, just again reiterating, senior families who need tickets, as you know, everyone gets 8 tickets, but senior families who may need a 10th ticket or a 12th ticket, we're making sure that our senior families get the tickets that they need to be able to celebrate their students. So I think that's important. Another highlight, so we had a Triumph board meeting yesterday. As you know, the board has already approved us going forward with our artificial intelligence institutes. And yesterday, the Triumph board approved our term sheet, which is a big deal because it allows us to continue to go forward. So they unanimously approved it, but that's not an award yet. That's not an award yet, but it helps us to continue to go further down this process. So that's looking good. And then the next stage is now we enter into a contract stage. So Mr. Horton, Mr. McGinnis, Ms. Scallon will be working through that process, and then that'll come back to the board for your approval. So we're very hopeful on this. This is about a 3 to 5 year venture, but this can be, again, another great highlight for the students of Okaloosa County. Hiring. So we are in the process of hiring now. So Dr. Hale, Ms. Scallon, so they've done a great job getting everything synced up so we can start moving forward in that process. So you will start seeing some instructional hires. Of course, we're doing administrative hires, but the instructional ones are important. I know that our principals are eager to get some of that going, as well as on the ed support side. But you'll start seeing some of that happening. But again, Dr. Hale, Ms. Scallon, and their departments to get all of that going, as you know, is a task. So we appreciate that. We've talked about the number of buses that are going to be coming to Okaloosa. So just a report. So we have four more buses that are expected to arrive today. So 4 more, and then 31 more buses will be here before the start of school. So I think, Mr. Horton, if I'm doing my math correctly, that'll be about 40 new buses by the time school starts, as long as everything goes as planned. But 40 new buses, and that's exciting, I know, for all of us. And that's all I have right now.
So thank you, Mr. Chambers. And I do want to piggyback on the graduation. A lot of the schools are already sending out the links to live stream it. So just in case you don't have family that can't be there, we will once again live stream. I think this is like our 6th or 7th year that we've live streamed graduations. And last I talked to Paul about it last year, we had across the world, pretty much each school had countries that were watching in. So that's
Awesome.
pretty cool. So
That is.
thank you, Mr. Chambers.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so now we'll move down to board announcements and requests for information. And 15.1 will be the appointment to the Okaloosa County Value Adjustment Board. And at this time, Ms. Savanchek is our representative and Dr. Kelly is our backup person. So we'll have to decide if y'all would like to continue. Mr. Michael Carroll is our community person that's on there. And I was going to reach out to him again to see if he's interested, if y'all are okay with that, and see if he's still interested. So when we do vote, we'll have a slate of people to go down. But knowing Mike, I'm sure he will have no problem with continuing to serve in that capacity.
And I have no problem with that either. I'm glad to continue in that. If the board chooses to keep me, I'll keep going.
Dr. Kelly?
Same thing. Happy
Okay.
to serve as Ms. Evanchik's backup.
All right. And so that will be pretty easy. All right. All right, so now we'll move to section 15.2, board members' announcements and requests for information. And Ms. Gardner, I'll start with you today, ma'am.
I'll just piggyback on what Mr. Chambers said a few minutes ago about the Cte Signing. That was really remarkable and very impressive to see. And again, thank April Branson. She's done a phenomenal job. You, Mr. Chambers, for promoting it, and the teachers and anyone who helped put the event together. It was very impressive. And I think we counted, because we stood up there, 68 students participated.
Yes, we did.
We did. 68 students, and I think after yesterday's event and the advertisement and just the students wearing their scrubs around school, I just thought that was so exciting to see that I wouldn't be surprised if we need to wear really some comfortable shoes the next
Yeah.
time, because I bet the numbers will be double.
Yes.
But
Yes,
it was
we'll be up there a long
very
time.
very nice program. So,
Thank you, thank you.
Great job, everybody. That's it.
Okay, Ms. Savanchek?
Okay, thank you. Well, that's great yesterday. That was a lot of fun and exciting. I think that's the first time we've had it in person. Went last year virtual
Yes,
with
ma'am.
everything, so that's exciting. And I said, we won't be able to have it in here next year. It'll
You are
be,
right.
it will expand. So that's the great thing, but yes, exciting. And then I was there Saturday as a member of the public schools foundation, and you've covered a lot of the points, but one thing I found very interesting, and I was checking in people, is the parents wanted to stay. The parents stayed the whole time, and that's great, because we all know that parent involvement makes a difference. So they were staying, and some of them were kind of like me going, I wish we had had this when I was in school, because it was such a wonderful opportunity for those students. So it was very, very good. All right, so I got my Baker fan today, because tomorrow night I will be back at Baker Doug Griffith Stadium for the spring scrimmage. But this is a very, as we know, very exciting year for the Baker Gators, because not only are they going to reveal their coming in 2021 football team, but they are celebrating the graduates with the whole team, because they had a perfect 14-0 season, and they will be having a ring ceremony. All the participants and cheerleaders and everyone will be getting their state championship ring. And also another special thing, the Gators have gone to the state playoffs in football 9 times. They have won it 5 times, which is a record, of course, in our district. But the first were won by the coach with Coach John Enzer, and the next one was with Coach Jeff Webb, and then of course with Matt Brunson. All 3 of these coaches will be recognized Friday night, which is a big. This is Baker royalty, and I've been of course very honored, because I will be standing among legends. But as always, Baker's so good to me, and they've invited me to take part in that ring ceremony, and I can't even tell you how excited. I think they invited me because they know that if I found out about it, I'd show up anyway. But what a great thing for students, and I can't wait to be there tomorrow night on that field to have a small part in celebrating the success of the Baker students and their coaches and faculty. And speaking of that, last Saturday night they invited me. They had a parent organized prom, and I got to go see that, and it sure was nice to see students taking part in the wonderful rituals of high school, and seeing them dressed up and excited about being together and doing that. And the parent committee group did a fabulous job of organizing that. So looking forward to a big weekend for the Baker Gators. Thank you so much.
And Ms. Vanchek, I'd like to just comment real quick on the career fair. I got there late, but I was impressed just to see the community and business involvement.
Oh, yes.
I mean, they had food coming. I mean, they had a ton of food there.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, Beachside Community Church opening up their doors to that. But
Yeah.
y'all did everybody did a fabulous job on that. But
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
neat to see the sponsorships. And,
Right.
I mean, a lot of Jimmy John subs came
Yeah.
in toward the end.
Well, yeah, that's right, yeah. Well, Debbie Tate was the foundation of all that. She's a petite woman, but I'm telling you, she handled it and did a great job. It wouldn't have come off without her. A lot of people, but she was the core. So yeah, great thing. Thank
Well,
you.
and the fact that y'all were able to provide transportation for those kids who lived like up
Yes.
in Laurel Hill and Baker.
That made a
and
difference.
I understand like 20 kids, I think, got on the buses. I know Miss Porter was one of the chaperones.
Was on the
and
bus, yeah.
She was having a good
She
old
loved
time.
it, yeah.
And then going back to the Baker ring, I of course, I mentor one of the Baker football.
That's right.
So our last mentoring session was this past week, and I said, hey, listen, let me wear the ring just for a minute.
Yeah, is he gonna let you?
He said he would. so.
Oh, there you go. Well,
Photo
you must
op when you do.
you must have really gotten in good with him this year.
So,
Can I just touch it?
Actually, that's what I was saying. I just want. All right.
Great.
Thank you, Ms. Vanchek.
Thank you.
Dr. Kelly.
Oh, well, I'll just piggyback on a couple of things that Mrs. Savanchuk said. So first of all, I am always proud of our K-12 schools, because you've heard me say for decades, the K-12 schools they have it going on. If you serve at a K-12 school, it's a way to get your feet wet with 3 different people progression plans, 3 different discipline plans, and learn how to communicate with 3 different parent levels. So I think just to say about Baker and Laurel Hill too, they do all of the events, all of those rites of passage events for their kids in a big way. I mean, if you've ever been to the senior tea at Laurel Hill or their graduation or baccalaureates, they do everything upright, and Baker does as well. So I know that you enjoyed those things. And another thing you said reminded me, those Baker legends, every one of them you mentioned, I have a connection to.
Oh, great.
So,
Yeah.
John Enzer hired me to come over from Richburg to Davidson. We got to help with the design of that building. I got to design that media center, and he was an excellent leader. And Coach Webb took my leadership courses when I taught for UWF, those leadership programs. And Matt Brunson, I taught Polly, his wife, in middle school. She was an exceptional English student, so I'll throw that out there. So just to tag on to you. But then moving down, I have to go back to some of those things we talked about in the acknowledgement section of our program. And just to say a kudo to all of the coaches. We are acknowledging a lot of our students here in sports and in academics. And the coaches deserve some shout out too. So in the archery, I know the Wises at the high school level, and then certainly Keith Oliver, who was kind of the machine to bring archery to our elementary program. And then Niceville track and field coach Todd Brigman, and cheer, of course, Miss Herndon and Miss Williams. And I have to give a huge shout out to the Destin Middle School Dazzlers coach. I hired Kim Berry the first year I was at Destin Middle School to be our cheerleader coach, and she has been a phenomenal influence on those young women and men, and she just does marvelous things, and I know that she'll continue to do that. And just to keep up with the numbers, looking at school days, we have 13 school days away from the end of the school year for students, and 16 school days away from the end of the year for teachers. But 55 work days away from students' first day back on August 10th.
Wow, short summer.
So you start thinking about, well, we're at the end of the school year, we've got all of this time, but really it goes by so quickly. And I think about our instructional leaders and our district level leaders, what they have to gin up over the summer, particularly in this year with the new standards and new textbooks and new everything.
Yeah.
So my kudos to all of you who will be working behind the scenes to get it done and get us ready for the fall. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Dr. Kelly. And Dr. White.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a couple of things, and I listened with interest regarding the superintendent's remarks about hiring, and certainly we all know how important that is, particularly this time of year. But in the past, I've asked for some information about projections for next year, and so I don't know if you folks are at the stage where you're ready to present some of that information, but I'd like to know a little bit more about projections in the future so we can kind of see. I know it's very difficult, and in the era of COVID, I suspect that making projections is more art than science. But certainly I'd like to have some idea of where we are with enrollment and what that means to our budget as a school board. And then lastly, I'll just say that I'll be making the closing remarks at Choctawhatchee's Senior Academic Awards on Tuesday evening, and no one should worry because I know the rule. It'll be very short. That's all I have, Chair.
All right, thank you. And I'll just finish saying, as Ms. Ivanchek was talking about the Baker prom, I want to send a shout out to the Crestview High School parents who did a fabulous job of putting on the prom for them. And I too, like Ms. Ivanchek, was just really excited to see the kids having a great time. And I was also on a committee that was helping set up and take down, so a lot of us parents didn't leave until like 12:30 from Laurel Hill. So well, I didn't get home until 12:30, so I guess it was about 12 when we got done. But just to say thank you to the parents for really for every parent group that's out there trying to make these events happen. We do say thank you to those parents and all. And also the Laurel Hill, like you said, we did the award ceremony on there, up there on Thursday night. And again, Lena Steele and her team did a great job of putting on a wonderful event. And the food was good too. So, but the barn, I will tell you, was pretty busy. They did Laurel Hill on Thursday, Crestview's prom on Friday, Baker's prom on Saturday. So it was pretty busy.
The barn was hopping.
The Laurel Hill was the place to be.
Beautiful venue.
Yeah.
So, All right, so we'll move down to section 16, public comment, and this will be the 2-minute version of public comment. And on public hearing, we do have a lot of public hearings, so we'll just read those off real quick. 17.1, public hearing for textbook adoption, instructional materials for secondary English language arts. 17.2, public hearing for adoption of a new job description for program director curriculum. 17.3, public hearing for adoption of a new job description for Director 1 Operational Services. 17.4, public hearing for adoption of a new job description for Director 1 Information Systems. 17.5, public hearing for adoption of a new job description for Information Systems Database Official. 17.6, public hearing for adoption of a new job description for MIS IT Security Official. And with that, I'll move around the room. Rita, you have anything? Lee? Patrick? Jordan? Sheila? Steve? All right, this meeting's adjourned.